listening to The Sleep Cordon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode one of the Slip Cordon. This is your boy Kibbs. I got the lads here with me, Nabi and Afi.
Yo, what's
What up?
up?
What up?
How's it been, boys, since our first episode came out a week ago, the debut episode?
There's been a lot of cricket since the first episode came out. Australia India is still one of the most thrilling series I've witnessed in recent times.
Oh yeah.
England's playing in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
We also got UAE versus Ireland on the side.
Yeah, so I mean that series has been a little iffy going around because they've had like a couple COVID cases in the camp,
Yeah.
so they've had to postpone a couple games. But the recent news is the series is gonna go ahead. So
Final ODI gets to go ahead.
I mean it's a good thing for UAE. Obviously, they're getting some cricket in. Associate nations are getting some cricket in, so good to see.
Yeah.
What's your take on the Australia India series going on, Nabi?
Nabi, you wanna do this?
Australia India has been great so far. Amazing comebacks by India. India has been down and out throughout, like after the second test in Melbourne, right? Uh, they've been
Battered and bruised.
Yes, like nine main lineup players injured, right?
Yeah.
So it's been crazy for India, but they've been coming back every time. Every time Australia has some hold on it, they make a comeback, right? So crazy series going on. Now the Gabba test has been cut down to the wire. Fifth day is gonna be. I'm just hoping it's gonna be terrific cricket on fifth day.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Washington Sundar and Shardul Thakur, they
Oh,
were
no.
not even in the squad, right?
Yeah.
And then they came back as just replacement players.
Yeah.
They were just net bowlers for the series.
And I'm just thinking about Muhammad Siraj right here. Like he played his first test in the series. He came into a pace attack which was one of the best in the world, and now three test matches later, now he's leading this like new pace attack from India. So which is great to see, and he's been actually doing pretty well as the leader of that pace attack. We also got guys like Shardul Thakur, Natarajan to support him, and it's been going pretty well so far.
Also, you can't take away the amazing innings Green played in the
Ye-
first innings, right?
Yeah.
That kind of gave Australia a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Also, it's his first ever series too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of debutants playing well. Will Pukovsky was great,
Yeah.
but he had to go out
It's really
For an
unfortunate.
injury.
for an injury.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Shubman Gill, amazing batting throughout the series. This has been honestly, this has been a series of the newcomers
Yeah.
and the unknown names, right? I mean, of course, Marnus and Smith batting amazing as usual, right? But other than that, no other big names really stood up,
Yeah.
right? Warner's out of form. Australia's still in search for their second opening batsman. Um, Other than Marnus and Smith, I don't think a lot of people have stepped up. A lot of marquee players have stepped up.
Yeah.
India lost 9 players, so they had no other choice other than to bring the bench up.
Yeah.
So and all these players just stepped up when the team needed. That's just amazing to see, right? Like Afi said, you know, Washington Sundar was brought for the T20s,
Yeah.
and then he didn't even get to play.
Yeah.
And now because of the injuries, he got called up on the Test squad. And the T20 game and Test game requires an absolutely different mindset. And look at this guy, probably saved the Gabba Test
Oh, yeah.
that
For India.
innings
For
from
sure. Yeah.
Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar probably saved the innings for India, right?
Yeah, I think it also shows India's depth in talent.
Definitely. You know, more than also, of course, depth, but it also shows the infrastructure, right?
They really played out of their
Like
skins.
India has players ready in the pipeline that can just come to it. Not this wasn't Bangladesh. This isn't Sri Lanka. They went to Australia, right? Australia takes pride in their Gabba wicket. They haven't lost 31 tests, right?
Yeah.
In that wicket.
Yeah.
And these guys did not have one bit of fear.
Yeah.
This is like the truest branding of fearless cricket, right? Going to Australia, Australia's pace attack is uncomparable to what India's playing with in that wicket, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, there is 1,100 wickets between
Yeah.
the top three bowlers.
Yeah.
and there's 100 something wickets, right?
Yeah.
No,
Between the
not even 100. It was like I think 13 wickets in the whole 11.
Yeah.
It was
yeah
13 wickets, so they had a gap of about 1,000 wickets between
yeah.
the two
So that
11s.
shows the experience that Australia is bowling in that pitch, and
And
India is bowling, and India is giving them a run for their money,
yeah,
right?
these guys had like what, 4 tests between them, the Indian pace attack, like the
Yeah.
full
They're
time
brand
bowlers.
new. They're brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
just goes to show how deep and how well built India's pipeline is.
yeah, a lot of the
Right.
credit goes to, I would say, Rahul Dravid and the work he's done with the under 19s, the A team, and the NCA.
Yeah.
But even someone like Mayank Agarwal,
Yeah.
he was literally, uh, Mitchell Stark was having all kinds of fun with them in the first 2 tests.
Yeah.
And then he comes back because of an injury at number 5, scores like a crucial 38.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's been a really good series. I think everyone's expected this series to be one of the best series in the past decade.
Definitely, even from watching it, it was a lot of fun to watch. Every
Yeah,
day, every
yeah.
session proved to be very critical towards the result of the test, right? Even
Yeah.
the draw in SCG, I was watching it till the last over, right?
We all thought it was
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
Australia's game.
We all thought Australia had it,
Yeah.
right? And Ashwin and
Vihari.
Vihari just showed their class.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the England
England,
and
Sri
Sri Lanka test going
Oh,
on?
Well,
man.
before like moving on to that, like just one last thing I like to add about the Australia and India Test series, like because in the past Border Gavaskar trophies, we've seen the batting, like it's always been like top of the it's been really great, the batting, and this year it was just like the other way around. The batting was, I would say, like not the best. It was mediocre, and the bowling was great. And I think that really made it a really like a thrilling series to actually enjoy from home. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, except like a few top order batsmen, a lot of the other guys are comparatively inexperienced for both
Yeah.
sides. So they have been tested by some really
we had
good
two brand
bowling.
new openers, Will Pukowski for Australia, Shubman Gill for India, and they tried their best, but like it wasn't as we saw last year.
Speaking of batting, Joe Root scored a 200
Yeah.
Yeah.
in Sri Lanka.
I think he's been pretty pissed off. Everyone wrote him out of the Fab Four.
Yeah.
Everyone's been talking about the Williamson and the Kohli and the Smith, and he comes out of quarantine and everything and scores a 200.
Definitely. And also, like, I was pretty amazed to see yesterday a Joe Root fan, flew to Sri Lanka 10 months before this test, and he has been working as a DJ in Sri Lanka
Yeah.
for 10 months just to watch this test.
Yeah, I mean, credit goes to England management. These
Yes,
guys
they
they arranged it, right? They got the media accreditation done for this guy,
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
could watch from that spot. And then
Yeah.
really nice of Joe Root at the end to salute him after he
after
got
the-
to double
yeah.
100.
Also, one more thing. So this series was initially supposed to take place last year, but it obviously didn't take place because of the whole Corona pandemic.
Yeah.
And a lot of people haven't noticed, but this is the first time a South Asian country has hosted a series after the pandemic, during the pandemic. So kudos goes to like England for actually showing up,
And Sri Lanka for all the security
Yeah.
measures too.
Yeah. But I think Sri Lanka is struggling a little these days.
Yeah.
I mean,
their batting has been like
yeah,
for
the
in
first
the first
innings.
innings it was horrible. In the second innings they made some improvement. We have guys like Kushal Perera top of the order, like just throwing their wickets away. We have guys like Kushal Mendes, just like we don't even have to say
He's at a horrid time.
Like,
I mean,
I feel bad for the guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like 4 ducks in the last 5 test innings now, because like the last innings he scored a solid 15 of 61 deliveries.
yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like Sri Lanka has a lot to prove in the coming days.
Yeah.
Both their boards with the management
Yeah.
and the players as well, because a shambolic performance like that at home is
Yeah.
never expected.
Yeah.
Speaking of performances at home, our boys are taking field in about 72 hours.
Yes.
We're all very
And
excited.
Cricket's back in Bangladesh.
Finally.
That always sounds like music to the ears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Against a very unknown West Indies side.
Yeah.
I would never say a weaker side because, I mean,
Anyone who gets picked for a national side, I would say,
Anyone.
deserves their position.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, these guys have done incredible in their domestic leagues and in West Indies, right?
Yeah.
So these are by no means weaker players.
Yeah.
They just never made it to the national team because of all the other mainstream players that we know of, right?
Yeah.
They just never got their spot.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely unwise to take them lightly in this series,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Both ODIs and tests. Of course, our boys are leading in terms of
Experience. Yeah.
experience. They got a lot of games amongst them. Um, we also have a few debutants. I think it's a perfect opportunity for these guys to show up.
Yeah.
And we got Shakib back,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Super
Finally.
nice back
Finally.
and I
after
mean
16 months.
there's a lot, but I was very impressed how BCB introduced cricket in Bangladesh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They arranged two tournaments before, the President's Cup and the Bongo One, the T20. The President's Cup being the 50 overs version, and
Yeah.
T20 being the 20 over version, of course. Um, of course, a lot of debate among the quality of cricket there, a lot of debate on performances there and stuff. But what do you guys think? I think it was terrific from BCB to get it, arranged while the pandemic was going on. So it's been a terrific effort from them.
Yeah.
So I think it's been great for the players to ease into cricket, right? A domestic league always helps. Uh, Although I have a lot of questions to you guys about the quality of cricket or also performances
Yeah.
in the President's Cup. But what do you guys think? How has it positively or somewhat? I think there were some negative effects too.
Yeah.
But what do you think the overall effect of the President's Cup, the 50 overs format, was on our return to cricket?
Well, to be frank, like we all kind of knew that it was gonna be it was gonna be a big challenge first of all for a lot of players because these guys have been sitting home. They had no access to any of the facilities to work on their games, so all they were reduced to they were all just like working on their fitness at home. And a lot of the batsmen they struggled quite a fair bit in the tournament. But man, kudos goes to our pacers. Like our pacers really bowled real well. We got guys like Taskin Ahmed trying to make a comeback to the national team to this tournament. We had newcomers like Shuman Khan. We had the under 19 frontline pacer Shoiful Islam finally getting a proper chance with the big boys, and we also had some notable performances to like say the least. We had guys like Irfan Shukur, who has been a really solid wicketkeeper in the domestic scene for a longest time, and he gave us hopes. He gave us hopes in this tournament that he could be that one wicketkeeper batsman who's also a finisher, and who could actually come in handy for the national team. Um, Other than that,
Yeah.
like that was about it for like the BC Presidents Cup. Low scoring matches and Pacers getting heaps of wickets.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have these kind of tournaments to ease back into cricket because I think if you just jumped right back into international cricket right after being out for so long, we've seen in the India series a lot of the guys have gotten injured and stuff. And
9 injuries, right?
9 injuries, right? So I think in a way, the ability that our guys had and the opportunity to come back slowly into the intensity of international cricket will keep them in a good place to keep their bodies fit. And in terms of performances, like you guys said, I think they were a little below par than what we expected it to be. Afi's the Taskin of Canada that we know about, and the Taskin in Bangladesh is back to bowling his short balls and his half volleys.
Hey man,
but-
he got a lot of wickets. He did decent, and he more better than decent in the Presidents Cup, as we all know.
There is a lot of debate, or I mean, I've been asked this question a lot that because I was talking to a few people about the President's Cup, and they said, and I think a lot of us somewhat agree to it too. The quality of cricket has been below par.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I somewhat agree to that, and a lot of people said like, what's the point of playing a cup like this, where our players are not performing as well or the overall quality is bad?
Mhm.
Why don't we send players like let's say to play IPL or other franchise leagues, right? That would get them better experience. I think it is vital, even though the quality was debatable. I think it's vital that we played the whole BCB contract list or the roster
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because everyone, like Afi said, guys like Irfan Shukur, right? I mean, of course, he has some bit of work to do before he can, knock
Play
the doors,
international cricket.
knock the
Yeah.
doors of the national team.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good tournament for him.
Yeah.
Overall.
And overall, a lot of players got to take the field, and people saw them, right?
Yeah.
And I think definitely I would choose a domestic league with our own boys playing and showing their skills. That brings a lot out of the players you're working with, right? And I mean, this kind of you can draw this same idea from Ranji Trophy.
Yeah.
Look at where Ranji Trophy was 5 years, 7 years back,
Yeah.
and now Ranji Trophy produces one of the best international cricketers.
Cricketers. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in Ranji Trophy too, they've had a little bit of tough patch where a lot of guys weren't stepping up in international cricket, right? And I think in Bangladesh, the first class system also has that issue where a lot of top players don't play, right? So you don't have the big guys coming and playing.
Yeah,
A lot of the guys aren't tested as much.
yeah,
And we have the Dhaka Premier League, probably one of the most premier competitions in the country, where a lot of the guys play. But then, since it's a contract-based thing, a lot of guys get money here, money there, and like a lot of teams become like overstacked. And then you have some teams that are much weaker, and then it's not a fair competition that goes around. But with these tournaments, they have to split the teams up, and I think it goes well for building the confidence of a lot of these guys.
and I guess also the league format versus the tournament format also brings different sides of a player,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because the league format, like you said, it's a lot of people having their contracts for years and playing for the same team. It's kind of some parts of it is somewhat taken for granted,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because these guys know that, okay, we're gonna pick by this team. I mean, our performance is average, and average is good.
Yeah.
But in terms of these tournament, this is your field to show or claim a spot for the national team, I guess. So all these players have that extra bit of fire for a shorter, I mean, not a shorter format, but a less longer um, set of matches,
Yeah.
right? As a tournament in a tournament format.
Yeah.
So I think that's another part that is a plus for these kind of tournaments to happen every year.
Well, like one thing I would talk about was the fact that this tournament, and we already had mentioned this in the last episode. So this tournament being televised, and as Nabi said, that was the sole reason we got to look at some of the new players, some of the domestic stalwarts. Like people we've been hearing for like years now. People in Bangladesh and like around the world, they finally got to see these players. And as like continuing where Nabi left off, he was talking about how when it's a league formats, sometimes it's players take things a bit for granted, and what happens during tournaments is that they just have a new level of intensity, and which is why and the fact that this tournament was actually being like broadcasted and live streamed, so players really like were out there in the field and they all had something to prove.
Yeah. So, just leading off from that point, I think we had the great under 19 team win the under 19 World Cup at the start of the year,
Yeah.
and some of those guys stepped up in the tournaments, right?
Yeah.
So now from that point, we had some of these guys also perform in the T20 tournament that happened. There was
Yeah.
2 more teams, so 30 more players got to play and got to experience the intensity of, I mean, as close as it gets to international cricket. So, what do you guys think about the T20 tournament that happened?
The T20 tournament, I think, was a better show or a better quality. Maybe
Yeah.
because the President Cup was kind of a warm up that got the players into their groove.
Yeah.
But the T20 tournament, I think, was one of the better ones I've watched. And I would even go to the extent of saying it has been better than some BPL games I've watched,
Yeah.
right? And I think this tournament should stay. This has given a lot of players. This has given a lot of new faces that we didn't know of from before. Of course, the under 19 kids, and we should take some time to really let everyone know that this batch of under 19 that has become world champions, and it's world champions. It's the top. is the top of that level in the world.
Yeah.
It can't get any better than that. And
Yeah.
these guys have managed to achieve that. So these guys are built different. These guys, and if you, I mean, we three have of course watched all these guys play for a long time.
Yeah.
But people who have not had the opportunity to see them in action, these guys definitely have the quality.
Yeah.
They are the new class has been, their intensity is different, their gameplay is different, and all these were shown at the Bongo Bongo T20,
Yeah.
right? Like players like Imon, players like Doi Doi,
Shoriful.
Shoriful,
Mahmoudul Hassan Joy.
Mahmoudul Hassan
The
Joy,
fielding of Shamim Patwari.
Oh yes.
fielding of Shamim Patwari, right?
Yeah.
They brought a whole new fire to the tournament,
Yeah.
right? And these guys play a fearless brand of cricket,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that this tournament has given us a lot of new faces, a lot of hope, because we were seen as one of the weaker T20 teams
Yeah.
in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and of course there is a lot of debate on, okay, is BCB reducing the size of the boundary, is this pitch like flat, whatnot, but that is there in every game.
Yeah.
That is there in every sort of T20 league going on, right? And I would say like we should really go above those kind of petty debates
Yeah.
and see the real quality that came out of it, right? We found hitters like Ariful Islam. No one really knew about him before this tournament, right? Ariful Islam or Ariful Haq?
Ariful Haq.
Ariful
I
Haq,
think you mean
Ariful
Ariful Haq. Yeah.
Ariful Haq. Ariful
Yeah.
Haq. Anyway, so I think that tournament played a vital role in our return to international cricket. Yet to be proven in the West Indies series,
Yeah.
but I think we'll see some good efforts from the faces we have recognized and discovered in that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we have Afi here. He hits big sixes for fun at Ashton V
Yeah.
every Wednesday. Sometimes we expect him to do it in the matches, but he doesn't come through. So, Afi, what do you have to say about the prospects of big hitting in Bangladesh?
Well, as we were talking about big hitting, one of my main takeaways from this Bongo on the T20 Cup was the power play overs, the first 6 overs. We've known for the longest time Bangladesh has struggled with, getting big runs, hitting over the 30-yard circle, scoring quickly in the power play overs in the first 6 overs, where there are two fielders outside the 30-yard circle.
Yeah.
But this tournament, we got to see talents like Anisul Islam Imon. We got to see the under 19 kid Parvez Hossein Imon, and man, what 100 he scored against us.
In a must-win game
In a
for his
must-win
team.
game. It was against Rajshahi and even Najmul Hossain Shanto. So he also scored 100 in that match, and also we got like Liton Das, Somo Sarkar from Chattogram. They also had like solid power play overs. They were getting in excess of 50-60 runs in the power play overs.
Yeah.
So that was one of my biggest positive takeaways from the tournament, and I feel like it's about time that we really step up in that aspect of the game, getting big runs in the power play over. Man, Anisul Islam Imon, man, what a clean hitter this guy is, coming down the track, hitting sixes like that, like big sixes, and in Sherbanga Stadium, and we know it's not easy to take it to the second tier of the stands in the Sherbanga Stadium because of the gap between the boundaries and the actual stands.
What
So-
did it make you think that since you can clear Ashton B, you can clear the Sherwangla stands?
Oh man, like watching the tournament, the boundaries were, like, to be honest, they weren't that big, and I feel like, I wouldn't even have to come down the wicket. I could clear them easily.
Nabi, you think you could get this guy caught at covers easily? Probably.
If sixes could be hit with confidence, I would bet my money on him.
Yeah.
But in terms of hitting sixes in the ground during games, I'm yet to see Afi bloom in that.
He's like the Mohammad Mithun of
But-
Bangladesh,
But
right?
this guy's got clean hitting though.
Yeah.
This guy's got clean hitting.
Yo, you really compare me to Mohammad Mithun, man. I ain't that bad. more like Shabir Rahman.
Hey, that guy's not performing anything
Yeah,
big out here.
but we're talking about batting styles over here, no? Taskin with the ball and Shabir with the bat. That's all I'm.
I think good part about these tournaments being televised also
Yeah.
is we see a lot of these tournaments popping up all around the country.
Oh yeah.
Right, there was the Maiman Singh Premier League.
Yeah.
That was the first
That was a-
100 ball tournament in Bangladesh.
That was a weird format though. I had some time. I was like, 100 ball. How's that last over gonna work?
Yeah.
Right. And apparently it was a special over. Anyway, maybe they could rethink the format again because I wasn't too big of a fan of the 100 balls.
So about the 100 ball thing in England, they're actually trying to make a league, the 100.
Yeah.
But I mean, it hasn't come about yet because they've had like scheduling issues, coronavirus, all that thing. But I think Jimmy Nisham said it. Funniest guy on Twitter, probably funniest cricketer
Funniest
on
cricket
Twitter.
guy on Twitter.
You
Yeah.
guys should follow Jimmy Nisham on Twitter if you are not. He's quite a lad.
He's got the jokes.
Yeah.
He's probably as on par with us with our jokes. But yeah, like he said it. He's like, I don't know how long that format is sustainable, but I think it's good to see there's local regional tournaments coming about in Bangladesh. But yeah, so now I know we've talked about the President's Cup and the Bangabandhu T20.
Yeah.
We've had a squad released of 18 for the Bangladesh West Indies series.
Yeah.
That's starting, Nabi said, less than 72 hours.
Yeah.
So what do you guys make of the squad?
I mean, I'm happy with whatever squad the team management decides.
Yeah.
It's not. I've never had complaints against majority of the picks. Of course, they understand better than we three do.
Yeah.
But of course, some picks like I'm not a big fan of some of the picks that has happened, right? And they might have their reasons, but from a very layman's perspective like ours, there are a lot of players there. I feel like there were better substitutes,
Mm-hmm.
better
Choices.
better choices that could have been fielded. I don't want to take too many names. I guess pretty common names going around these days, right?
Yeah.
Mohammad Mitoun or Shabbir, right? These guys haven't been performing as much.
Yeah.
I would be very happy if we saw these kind of spots being taken by new faces,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of people have been performing in domestics. Of course, a lot of people debate that these guys are not proven in internationals. But hey, when's the last time you saw Mitoun save you a game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, not to write anyone off. This is part and parcel of the game, right? You don't do good, you go back to domestic, do good, come back. That's what makes a cricketer, right? But I guess I'd be happier if BCB could look into taking off players not performing and really stop blocking positions for newcomers.
Yeah. I think there comes a point where you have to give someone else the opportunity, and if they take it, that's good, or else you move to the next guy, right? Because yeah, I mean, we can keep saying that, oh, that guy's not a proven player in international cricket, but he's probably not gotten as many games, and how's he gonna prove himself, right? I mean, we keep talking about Afi every game at Ashton Bees and the Lamaroos. He's like
Afi's-
bowling with the grunt in the first over, probably scaring the batsman and everything. And then the next ball is a nice half tracker at the chin. I mean, sometimes it gets the guy at the chin, sometimes it goes to
He gets hooked hook deep square leg for like a big ass six.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and those aspects are always gonna be there in cricket, but
So, like as we all know, and like I want to be quite blunt about it. Like one pick that like everyone's been talking about is Mohammad Mitoun. So like I just want to ask you guys. So what do you guys think? Like where is the team management planning to bat him in the lineup, Mohammad Mitoun, if he gets a chance in the playing 11?
well, I think he's the incumbent number 5, right?
Number 5, yeah.
So if they picked him, that's where they're gonna play him. Number 3 is Shakib's spot. He's done well in the World Cup.
Yeah.
He comes right back in, and then Mushfiq's at 4. Those spots are taken.
We also got Riyadh
At
like,
6, yeah. So those spots are taken. So
Yeah.
if he plays, he's playing number 5, and I mean, that's a
See-
pretty important position in
So
an
we got
international
Tamim
team.
at 1.
Yeah.
We got Shanto at 2.
No, we got Tamim and Litton opening.
We got Liton opening. Yeah.
Then we got
yeah.
Shakib. Then we got
Shakib.
Mushfiq. Then that's a spot where we're kind of debating about. So Mohammad Mitoun, he is like okay, like he's a batsman. Like we expect him to like the place where we play him, we expect him to finish games for us, and in case of a collapse, just take take charge
Charge.
of the innings. But it's Mohammad Mitoun, and right after him it's Mohammad Riyadh. I would say that because mostly he has to finish the games. I feel like Mosaddegh Hossain Shoykal is a much better choice than Mohamed Mitoun. And not only he can actually strike the ball clean, he can also give you solid overs in the middle, and he's a great fielder. And when Mosaddegh comes into the lineup, in that case, we can bring Riyadh up to number 5 and put Mosaddegh down to 6.
Yeah.
That way we have a more balanced team. Like, don't
And
you guys think?
I think even six could be Drupal.
Yeah, Afif Hussain.
Oh, we
Yeah,
forgot about
easily,
Drupal.
Easily.
Afif is one of my favorite youngsters coming in. I mean, he's not a youngster anymore.
Anymore,
He's
nah,
played-
nah. He's
yeah.
played a
He's played
couple games.
international.
Oh man,
yeah.
the confidence this kid has. Like,
But I think if we are doing that switch with Riyadh
Yeah.
at 5 and 6,
Yeah.
I think Afif is a better six than Mossadegh and Mitun.
so I guess
Right?
like when
And
if,
also he's a gun fielder,
oh yeah,
solid overs of spin in the middle,
yeah,
right? Especially on our home tracks.
yeah.
And he's no mug with the bat. He's a sick batsman.
Sick batsman.
Sick
Yeah.
batsman, yeah,
So the games are on 20th, 22, and the 25th.
yeah.
Yes.
Midnight for us.
Midnight
Not
for
as
us.
lucky as
12:30,
As our Aussie listeners,
12:30
AM.
a.m. start in Canada. I mean, this has been our case throughout.
Yeah.
for
We have
for
been
how long? For
dealt-
Kips, for how long has
For,
that been? The
10
case?
years, right?
10 years,
10,
yeah.
11 years
10
almost.
years
Same
we've
almost.
been dealt the bad hand of timing.
Oh man, the
in
amount of times we
Canada.
had final exams the next day. I specifically remember during the 2014 India series where Taskin made his debut and got 5 wickets in his first match. Like I had a final exam the next day, and I stayed up till 12, watch Bangladesh bowl out India, and then go on to do my final exam in school. So
We
yeah,
got a big Tuscan fan here. As
oh
you
yeah,
can tell.
this guy when he first came into the scene, I was a big fan of him, and the control he had over the ball, it was really impressive to watch because we never had pacers of that build, of that height, bowling in excess of 140. So yeah,
And speaking of Taskin, I mean, I think we have a very young, fiery pace attack this series.
Yeah.
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 We've got Shoriful.
Mustafiz.
My ideal pick would be Shoriful, Mustafiz, Taskin.
Yeah.
And I say Taskin with a lot of hope, given the fitness. No, he has shown
He's
great,
worked. He's worked
great-
really
he's-
hard.
He has
Yeah.
worked. There were two guys working crazy hard throughout the pandemic. If any of you followed the social media, Taskin and Mushfiqur Rahim.
Yeah.
Mushfiq's always been working hard.
These
we know
guys
that.
have set a bar really high, set a bar of fitness really high for other Bangladeshi players, right? Virat Kohli has set this standard in cricket pretty much of
Maintaining
fitness,
high fitness.
maintaining high fitness,
Yeah.
and you can already see that reflect on the Indian team.
Yeah.
I don't. 9 out of 11 players are probably very fit and agile on the field.
Yeah.
Right. So Taskin has worked really hard. We've all seen that. It's time to show. It's time to
Everyone.
show that
It's
on
time
the
to step
field.
up for him. Yeah.
And I'm really hopeful about Taskin. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna still bowl his half trackers and disappoint us.
Yeah.
But no offense to Afnan. I mean, every
It's
time
all good. It's all good.
But I have hopes this time on
Yeah.
Taskin.
Yeah.
'Cause we did get to
And
see glimpses of him.
One guy that gives me a lot of hope, and I think he's gonna deliver, is Shoriful.
Yeah.
Shoriful has done great for under 19, great in President's Cup, amazing in for Chattogram in Bangabandhu T20. This is his stage. This is Shoriful's stage, and also another guy I wish I could play for his Pacers, Hassan Mahmood.
Oh man, gone under the radar. Gone under the
Hassan
radar.
Mahmood. If you guys have not watched Hassan Mahmood, just go on YouTube and watch Bangladesh's practice game. This guy is a babyface assassin.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This guy is a babyface assassin. He gave no breathing room to few of our top order batsmen.
You got time out.
Yeah.
So this guy, I wish we could play 4 Pacers, but that's not
That's
how the
not.
wicket is. That's not what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So top 3 would be Shoriful, Mustafiz, and Taskin in terms of experience.
Yeah.
And I'm very shamelessly hopeful at times. If we got a really good hand on West Indies,
Yeah.
I would take Taskin off and play Hassan Mahmood one game.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the wickets, we got the game happening at the first 2 games are happening in Dhaka, and then the second one moves down to Chittagong.
Chattogram.
or now they say
Chattogram,
Chattogram, right?
yeah.
Everything is Chattogram, Joshua, and everything.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think it's gonna be batting friendly pitches as it is always in
Taco.
Dhaka, and I mean subcontinental wickets, usually flat tracks, roads you play on. But I think it's a good chance for our pacers to make use of the new ball and see what they get out of it, right?
Yeah.
If they can, I mean, we know that Sher Bangla, you usually win if you're batting second. Same thing with chasing in Chattogram, right? You usually win if you're batting second. So, I mean, if Bangladesh chooses to go bat second, good chance for our pacers to bowl without a lot of pressure of defending a total and just going all out and probably picking up a few scalps for themselves.
Yeah, and in terms of like the timings of the match, because we've seen in the past everyone complaining about the do factor. So like this time BCB are gonna start the matches at 12:30. So I guess that gives like good time, like
I think 12:30 our time, so 11:30 Dhaka time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
11:30,
11:30.
11:30. Sorry, like living in the wrong time zone here, but like it's all good, it's all good. But yeah, so 11:30 Dhaka time. So like still gonna be a day night match, but less due. So that's gonna be interesting to see how the spinners bowl in the second innings.
All right, so I'm gonna ask, who's your player of focus, Nabi?
My player focus
Yeah,
from the 18-man squad.
from the 18-man squad.
My player of focus, my player, my pick of the bowlers would be Shoriful.
Shariful.
I think this is the series. This is the series. He's going to shine, inshallah.
Yeah,
That's the
It's
hope.
his first series.
This is first series, and he's on a nice rhythm.
yeah.
Like when you see him bowling, he's enjoying himself.
Yeah.
He's getting wickets. He's scaring batsmen. So he's doing well. So I think this is a good series. It should be a good series for him.
Yeah.
My pick for batsman, I'm excited to see Litton because he has been in a sublime form. He's whatever is he hitting is going to the boundary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I hope he stays on that. Shomo is probably playing his first ever series as a true all rounder.
Yeah.
Right? Because he has gotten a fair bit of bowling lately.
He's bowling the little seam ups like you these days, yeah.
Yo.
I mean, you went to the leggies, you came back to the seam ups.
Bro, seam ups
What,
is
what are you
where it's
thinking
at.
next? Are you gonna go start bowling some offies like me or
Man,
what?
I'm gonna start keeping because apparently that's a sure shot in the team. But hey, just kidding.
I
don't
hear
think-
there's no keepers in Toronto left these days. So
No, that's why. That's why.
if anyone in Toronto needs a keeper,
Yo, hit him up and IG. Just look up Ashfaq.
No, I'm just kidding about keeping, man. I can't keep to save my life. But yeah, so I think Liton and Shoriful are two of my picks.
all right, Afi, who you looking at besides your boy Taskin? Beside your boy Taskin, yeah.
So, in terms of batting, obviously I'm looking at Litton Das because like we all know the last one day series that Bangladesh played was against Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
and he had two huge scores over there. One of them being 176, which is the highest
Score for a
highest score for a
Bangladeshi.
Bangladeshi batsman in a single ODI innings.
Yeah.
So we've Liton has made his debut in 2014. We have seen him do well in patches, but we've never got to see him actually being consistent. And this time around, I mean, he's coming on the
He's coming off a good run of
he's
form.
coming off a good run of form from the Zimbabwe series, like where he had the 176. He did decent in I wouldn't say he did like too well in the President's Cup. He did decent over there, but oh man, the Bangabandhu T20 tournament where he was leading one scorer. So I'm genuinely excited for to see Litton in this upcoming series. And in terms of bowlers, or actually I would say like I'm not gonna pick any pacers. I'm actually excited to see Afif. I'm excited to see Afif because he's been in the national setup for not not a while, but it's been some time. He's been in the national setup in the national in the national team changing room, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he plays in this series because as we all know, West Indies sent like a second not even a second, like a third string side, not undermining them, but like a lot of these new players, they'll have a great opportunity to actually show what they're truly capable of.
Yeah, I think for me, I would say the stalwart of Bangladesh batting, Mushfiqur Rahim. I think he's worked hard on his fitness.
Yeah.
I think he's probably at the peak of his game. He's had his fair share of a little controversy here and there, but
But we don't
I
talk
think
about it. We don't talk about it. We don't talk
We don't
about
talk
it. We
about
always
it.
gotta write our for like we're not gonna like justify if he whatever he
what
did
he
if it was
did.
right or
No,
wrong.
no, no.
Like,
We're not the journals of Bangladesh,
yeah.
right?
No. Oh man, talking about the journalists of Bangladesh, man, like the Rakim Cornwall, like and
Oh man, the thing is, this guy. I don't know what these guys think when they write up a report.
Yeah.
And this journalism is just straight up disrespectful.
it's embarrassing to be honest.
As a cricket fan, as a Bangladeshi fan, it is straight up disrespectful and shameful, I would say, even, right? The stuff they're writing about Rakim Cornwall.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
guys have probably not even watched him play.
Yeah.
He's if you any of you have not watched him play,
He's
we're
basically
talking
a-
about the big guy. He weighs in a whopping 180 pounds. Actually, not 180 pounds.
I
Hold
think
on.
over 200.
100. You mean 180 kilograms?
Probably.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Right,
not
he's
being-
6'6" and like
He
I
beats
don't-
a ball.
He beats the ball. He's a solid spinner. Like, and we all know like Virat Kohli was really impressed with him when he came down to play in the Caribbean, and then he actually asked for he actually faced Rakim Cornwall in a tour match, and he asked him to bowl him in the nets. And so like back to what we were talking about, the journalists writing whatever they're writing about Rakim Cornwall. I just think they think they're being really funny here, but like they're not really being funny. It's,
No,
it's
it's
straight
not-
up disrespectful.
Yeah, I think with the times we're in and what the situations the world has gone through and what we have seen,
Yeah.
we've seen in the BBL the players doing the kneel down for racism. We've seen India face a little bit of racism from the
in
stands.
Sydney and Brisbane.
Yeah, so I mean, in these times, these are absolutely disrespectful, like Nabi said, and something that should not be happening in mainstream media. Right?
These should have no place in cricket. I mean, to give you a little bit of background, so this guy is a big guy, not the usual cricket
Tattoos
player.
and the abs and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not that kind of athlete. And a lot of journalists, I wouldn't even call these guys journalists.
Yeah.
A lot of people are writing reports on his appearance and kind of joking about how he's going to play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, that comes from a place of not knowing, no knowledge, no respect for the game or the players.
Yeah.
Right? And that shouldn't have any place in cricket. That shouldn't have any place in cricket because this guy's a terrific bowler. He's got picked. He played tests for West Indies.
Yeah.
Right.
He has a 5-wicket haul in test matches.
So there he is no mug with the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves every bit of respect. And all these people writing up, trying to be funny, should be shown the right way.
Yeah.
Should not be allowed to continue with this.
Yeah, I think with BCB hosting the tournament and stuff, I think the board needs to come forward and tell these guys that, this
Yeah,
is...
and also when the games are happening, of course it'll be televised.
Yeah.
I'd hope all the commentators also to actually
Talk about his performance
talk
and not
about his
about...
performance and not talk about how he looks.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, I mean these kind of derogatory, cheap comments have no space in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's a gentleman's game. You play on the field. You leave your heart out on the field.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Again, I forgot while you guys talking about the new up and coming stars. So I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
So let's say you need a off spinner who's a good batsman. We have Mehdi Hassan Miraz.
You have me.
We have you.
We have
Hey,
Gibbs.
but okay. Just to clarify, we need a solid fielder too.
Oh.
Yo.
So
I
So
think I don't make the cut for the national team.
when we
in
need a
that.
solid fielder, who's a bowler and a batsman, I mean, Kibria.
Unfortunately, I don't make the
I'd
cut.
love to pick you as my brother, but we need a good fielder, so
Yeah.
we'll
Hey,
see.
it's on the come up. It's on the come up.
But anyway, so if you were to pick between Mehdi Hassan Miraz and Mahdi Hassan, who would your pick be?
I think for me, I would go with Mahedi Hassan because, I mean, everyone had a lot of expectations from Miraz and everything after the under 19 World Cup and after the way he came in to the international cricket scene. But I don't think he's just lived up to it. He gets the new ball a lot of times, but he's bowling half trackers. I know if I'm bowling half trackers, I get yelled at. So as an off spinner, if you're bowling down the leg, half trackers first over, I mean, I think Mahedi's shown a better control with the ball. He's shown that he has the ability to play according to the situation. You know, rather if he wants to hit big like Afnan, he hits big, and if he has to steady the innings, you know, like you do,
Nabi.
Nabi with the 80 ball 40s and stuff.
Oh my god.
Um,
even get there.
I guess that's also a role he plays, so I'm pretty excited to see him.
And well, like if you ask me, like one of the main ways we use our off spinner, like especially we have used Mehdi Hassan Miraj. We use him to open the bowling, and to be honest, like I've seen like Mahdi Hassan open the bowling in domestic cricket and BPL and stuff like that. Like he gets better drift, better turn. He has he also has a ball like going away from the right hand batsman,
Yeah,
and and also like that. So that's the bowling part about Mahdi Hassan. Now if it comes to batting, so we've all known in the under 19, like when Mahdi Hassan Miraj, when he was in the under 19 setup, he was a top order batsman and he was a really good batsman at that. But we just don't have, like, we can't use him in the same position in the national setup right now currently. So I feel like it makes sense that we bring in like Mahdi Hassan because he can open the bowling for us with his offies,
and then gives you the
and
lower
then
order runs.
lower order runs, and like he can also potentially like one of those players that like could become a finisher for the national team, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of finishers, I'm excited to watch Saifuddin.
Yeah.
I think this guy packs a punch with his batting,
Yeah.
and
We almost forgot that like when Nabi was talking about picking three seamers in the playing 11, that we also have Saifuddin who's gonna play for, like, that's like guaranteed, right? That's for sure that Saifuddin's gonna
I
play.
mean, if
if
I
I were
mean,
to pick 11, Saifuddin's a guaranteed spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if we pick like three seamers, that's gonna be four seamers overall. And not only that, we also have like Shomo,
but I don't think Shomo makes
the
the
playing
current
11, yeah.
11.
Shomo doesn't make the current 11 as a bowler.
Yeah, I
Doesn't,
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
even in
even
the
as an
batting,
all-rounder,
he's not making
Because
it right now.
even as an all-rounder, I would honestly prefer a spinning all-rounder,
Yeah.
right? Because
Spin tracks in Bangladesh,
we
yeah,
have
he's
three
elite.
solid pacers coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would pick a spin all-rounder for my 11, right?
Yeah, and I think wickets crumble in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
You'll have the same pitch used for two
Yeah.
games.
And I think also one thing to note is West Indies historically hasn't been the best batting force against spin attacks,
Yeah,
and the lack of pace would really trouble them.
yeah,
The lack of pace on our tracks, and especially if you're bowling second, right, the Q factor, I think our spinners would have
better control.
better control on those kind of conditions
Yeah,
against the batting setup that West Indies has,
yeah.
right? So Afi, I was gonna ask you, since you're always up to date with Ranji Trophy and any other domestic league from Texas to Tamil Nadu, you are caught up with every domestic league going on.
He probably knows what's going on in the European Cricket League too.
Yeah, probably.
Yo, my uncle played in the ECL.
There you go. Let's not start there. But so on the West Indies side, we know the so-called second or third string side, but I'm pretty sure these are solid cricketers who
Oh, yeah,
could
for
pack
sure.
a punch.
Yeah.
Who would you say are the pick of the lot, right, to watch out for?
So from I mean, before I mention the picks, like the players to watch out for in the one day series, one guy I was really excited to see play in Bangladesh was Hayden Walsh Jr. But like unfortunately he tested COVID positive in the second round of testing, and he has to go through a period of isolation and has to return two negative tests in order to get back into the playing in order to get back into the squad. But other than that, like two players, if I have to mention, I'm really excited to see in this upcoming series. One is Kyle Myers, the right arm fast bowler, and we've seen him do really well in CPL and also in Majiko Super 50, and also excited to see Alzari Joseph because
Yeah.
I don't think we have seen him play in Bangladesh. Have
No,
we?
no, I don't think
Like
so.
to the best of my knowledge, like I might be wrong here, guys. Like do forgive me if I'm
No,
wrong,
no,
but like
I don't think Alzari's played.
Azari hasn't played in Bangladesh, but he has done some great job with West Indies
Oh,
in New
man.
Zealand as well.
Yeah.
Also
Right.
in IPL, his first match in IPL, this guy had like a 6 wicket haul, the best figures.
Figures on a debut match. Yeah.
Yeah, not
I mean,
only
on-
a debut
on-
match,
in
in
all of
IPL, in all
yeah.
of IPL. The previous best was Sohail Tanvir.
I think West Indies also has a solid opening pair too, right? Opening batsman.
Brathwaite, yeah. I mean, but that's in the
That's
test.
that's in the test circuit.
But
Yeah. So who do you guys think will open in the West Indies one day squad? We
I
have
think I think Joshua Da Silva might be.
Joshua Da Silva.
He's a
done
sick
well.
keeper.
Sick keeper. I think he's
keeper.
done well. Young kid. He's played in the Toronto scene. I'm just gonna mention that.
And he played in TND,
He
right?
has played in the TND scene.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. Like for them, I guess we'll have to see who stands up and.
Yeah, man, exciting ODI series ahead. Of course, that's followed by 2 tests in February, and that is going to be amazing to watch Bangladesh in the whites again.
Yeah.
And of course, like you guys already know, we just look forward to any test series going on,
Yes, sir.
right? So we'll do our next episode will probably be, we'll do a follow up on the ODI series going on, and we'll do an episode on test series as well.
Yeah, lead up.
This has been a very long podcast. If you are still with us, and if you didn't,
We love you. We love
if
you.
you-
Like, we just want to say we
you know
love
what? We should have given them like a catch at the end of like a 10% discount in the beginning, so everyone would stay till the end. But hey, we're not giving out discounts yet because we just started and we don't
Or-
monetize this. So thank you. That's all we have to give you if you are still listening to us. It's been a long podcast. This episode, of course, naturally, we're talking about Bangladesh cricket, Bangladesh coming back.
Tend to get
you know,
excited.
This is what we live for, right?
Yeah.
So, thank you for staying with us. We'll come back with another episode of Bangladesh ODI series as a follow up once it starts. Again, thank you from all three of us, from Kibbs, Afia, and Nabi, myself, for staying with us. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you guys, and hopefully you'll catch us in another episode real soon. Take care. Stay hyped for the Bangladesh series. Cricket's
sir.
back,
One love.
and we'll be watching it. Hope you guys watch it too. Message any of us
Yeah.
if you need a
if you-
streaming
or
link.
if you wanna, a streaming link, or maybe hop on a Zoom call and watch it with us. Possibly. We don't know. We might do that.
Also, mad jealous of our Aussie boys down under because these guys get to watch it during the day.
Yeah.
So if anyone listening to us from Australia, I mean, we're jealous of you, straight up.
Straight up, yeah.
But it's all love, though. At the end of the day, it's all
We're
love.
having to stay up since 12:30 in the morning to watch this. Hope you guys have a great week, and keep supporting us. Thank you for all the support on social media.
For the debut episode. Yeah.
So see you guys next week.
Adios.
Peace.